Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you my code that I made in Python. Woohoo! So I've been working on this for a few days and I'm using my Raspberry Pi here. It's plugged into a bunch of electronics and things, but I'm just using Python and not the electronics. Basically, this program, you can type in some commands and then it can do things. So I'll show you now. This is the program. Most of you might not understand this, so it's, let's see, 65 lines long. I'll try to walk you through it. So at the beginning, you have these things. They're import, random time. These are modules, so these are things that you can call, and that's it. These are a bunch of variables that I defined here, and they're used in the code. Then this is a while loop, and this basically means while this variable is less than the number 10, do this stuff over and over and over again. This is defined as 1 before this starts, and it never changes. I never change the variable in the loop, so it never ends, which is what I want. And this is something I'll explain later. These are a bunch of lists. They are pretty easy to understand. This is a operation. So input means it'll ask you, what am I doing? Nobody cares about this. Hello, I'm the person that is in the video you are currently watching. To save yourself from intense boredom, skip ahead to this timestamp if you are not a Python nerd. Thank you. This has been a public service announcement. This defines lists and some stuff and a boolean. Then it checks a bunch of, and then it goes through. It takes your answer it asks a question and it checks if your answer is each one of these things, and then it just does that a bunch of times. Here, if the operation is not in the list of operations that's here, add, subtract, multiply, divide, then it'll print error, which means it'll show it on the screen, and then make this boolean true. Is operation filled? Is the operation complete? Yes. And then it'll only do any of these other things if this boolean is false. So whenever an operation is completed, it turns the boolean true, and then none of these things go, and it just goes to the beginning where the boolean is redefined false. Let's get to the demo. Okay, this is kind of awkward. Here's the shell program. I'm going to quickly press run. Wait, what? Okay, there was just a bug there. It's now fixed. So run. Now it says, what do you want to do? We'll start with a basic operation, add. The first number, 2. The second number, 5. I don't know about you, but I think it's going to be 7. Boom. So then it just does it again, and it'll return the loop. So let's try divide. The first number, how about 60? Second number, 12. So it'll divide 60 by 12. 5.0. It returns this as a float. This is the result of this thing, but it's not just a regular integer number, because 60 divided by 12 is 5. There's no fraction or decimal, but it returns a float because that's the automatic result to a division thing. If you do multiplication, addition or subtraction or anything else, it won't return a float, well, as far as I know, but for division it does. Okay, now we get to the more interesting stuff. First, we can generate a name. This generates a name from a list of first names and a list of last names that are here. That's Bob, Billy, Clara, Walrus, and last names Carter, Hamilton, Peters, So, let's do it. Billy Carter. Interesting. Okay, now we can generate a number. What this function does is it generates a random number from one number to another number that you input. So if you wanted to pick a number from 50, which will be the lower cap, to 100, then it'll just generate one of those, which is 98. And then the last thing, it can generate an action. This thing I am not finished with. I'm still developing it. It takes an adverb, like silently or quickly or depressedly, and then it combines it with a verb. So an adverb plus a verb combust da 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 da. Silently scream in a library. I don't know if that's possible. So as you can see, this is like combust, ski, climb a mountain, code a robot, that's a place, that's a thing, drop a piano from an Empire State Building, run away crying, scream in a library, or poop on a plate. What I noticed is that a lot of them include places in them, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new list. So these are all lists of strings, which are like words, kind of, and I'm gonna add a new list called places, where if you look at the code here, for the operation is generate action, so it'll check that, and no operation has been filled yet, then it'll print a random choice from that and a random choice from verbs, and then it turns that to true so that nothing else can happen. And it'll also pick a choice from the new places list. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then there's one more thing. So if you type something that's not one of the things that actually does something, like gibberish, it returns error. If you type something that's a word, like toilet, call back to my less recent video, it will also return error, because if you input something that's not something that actually you can use, then it will just return errors instead of crashing. So if you do it again, if you do it 3 times in a row, it says this: seriously, human, stop making me sad. So I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this video. It might have been really boring because it's just like Python coding and it's really boring. But if you followed, that's great. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Seriously, human, stop making me sad. By subscribing. Subscribe, please. Please.